This is the biggest redesign of my studio since I began this YouTube channel. The desk, the keyboards, the synths, the interfaces, microphones, the whole setup is new. This is the next chapter, 2 years in the making. Welcome to Sanjay C's Studio 2.0. Do you remember what the old setup looked like? Here's the before and after. Wow, it's incredible. Today I'll share all the gear, all the changes I've made to optimize this space for creativity. Watch until the end, because after I go over all the music gear, I'll share some of the cool gadgets, the non-music gear as well. Things like USB hubs, voice-controlled power outlets, lighting, and more. I've spent months planning this new setup, and I think the stuff I've chosen will help your studio setup as well. I'll put links to everything in the video description. If you're new around here, I'm Sanjay C. You'll find music production tips, tutorials, and gear reviews on my channel. Consider subscribing because there are some exciting things coming soon. Also, follow me on Instagram because you won't want to miss my biggest giveaway ever, coming really soon. All right, let's get started with the biggest change, the desk. It's not just a normal desk, it's got some hidden amazing features. The desk is by Monkwood Studios. Monk, the guy who created this, has built desks for famous artists and composers like Ryan Tedder from One Republic, James Hetfield from Metallica, Tori Kelly, and so many others. I visited his workshop recently. Don't miss that video. It's the last one that I posted. This desk is huge with lots of space on top, and it fits an 88 key keyboard in the drawer. I've got the Native Instruments S88 Mark II in here. I love the S-Series workflow and the keys feel excellent. And right above it, a super thin secret drawer for my Rolly Seaboard Rise. On top, Monk built 2 removable racks that hold 3 units each. Having the racks movable makes it easy to get to the cables in the back and even move them off the table for filming. One of my favorite features of this desk is that it's sit stand. Controls in the front raise the desk to standing height. Really helps with fatigue and back problems. This chair is new too. It's by Laura Davidson. Excellent and super comfortable. Under the desk, there is a hidden shelf for cables. I've actually got 3 large surge protectors back there. There's tons of space. The desk is backlit with colored lights. More on that later in this video. You'll notice that I haven't set my studio monitors on the desk. I have them on floor stands. Having them on the desk would actually improve the listening experience, but I really prefer having the extra space for more gear. My new studio monitors are the Barefoot Footprint 01s. They replace my PreSonus Aris 4.5s and my PreSonus T8 subwoofer. But hey, I still highly recommend those PreSonus monitors. I love mixing with those. The Barefoots are bigger, badder, and much more expensive, but they've got a really cool feature too. This little knob here lets you change the sound of the speaker to mimic other speakers. A hi-fi consumer stereo, the standard flat Barefoot monitor sound, the old school Yamaha NS10 sound, or even the sound of small cube speakers. I need to use it a bit more before I give it a real review. Okay, so moving those monitors out makes a lot more room for gear. Let's go over everything from right to left. First, right here, I've got the Arturia Mini Brute synth. This is a mono synth with an excellent thick sound. Love this for bass or leads. You'll see and hear more of it in the future. Below the Mini Brute, I've got the LA2A compressor. This is an industry standard in Pro Studios, but this one is special. It was owned by Ben Folds, one of my all-time favorite artists. I purchased it at an auction on reverb.com, and I got it for the same price as other used LA2As, but it's so much more special because Ben Folds used it. All right, in front of the LA2A, I've got the Prophet 6 by Sequential Circuits. When I tried this synth out for the first time in a local music store, I knew I had to have it. I've made a couple videos about it. I even have a video showing how to control Omnisphere with it. Check it out over here. All right, let's move to the left of the desk. On top, I've got my Neumann NHD20 headphones. Next to the headphones, I've got the Native Instruments Machina Mark III. This is one of only 100 orange machines in the world. All right, in the rack below, I've got some really important gear. Let's start from the bottom. I've got the Universal Audio Apollo 8 audio interface. great preamps. I highly recommend these, or even the smaller Apollo Twins. The preamps, the plugins, all top quality. But one problem. I didn't have enough inputs for my keyboards and synths, so I added the Arturia AudioFuse 8 Pre as well. The AudioFuse is an 8-input audio interface with tons of features on its own, but I have it connected to the Apollo with an optical cable so that I can control all changes from the Apollo console. These two interfaces together give me 16 inputs. Right above the Arturia AudioFuse, I've got the BAE 1073 MP preamp. This preamp seems to make every mic sound cleaner and clearer. It surpassed all my expectations. It's modeled after the famous Neve 1073, but many people say the BAE version is better than the Neve. I've never owned the Neve, so I can't really say, but it sounds amazing to me. Over to the left, I've got my mic arm. This is the Rode PSA-1 mic arm. Link in the description. Right now, I've got the Peluso P12 microphone on it. The P12 is a condenser microphone. I'm testing out this one for now, and we'll see what comes in the future. All right, in front of the rack, I've got the Arturia Micro Freak connected right now. I actually saved this space for any random gear I'm testing or playing around with, so I have an input cable and a USB cable to connect any gear. The biggest change to my setup these days is just having everything connected. I've never had this. For all my previous videos, I've had to disconnect one thing to connect another because of space or limited inputs. Now it's all connected. It's just a dream come true. The moment I get an idea, I can start playing with anything. Speaking of which, I finally connected my other keyboards. To the left of my studio desk, I've got the Rhodes Mark I stage piano connected and ready to play. Right above that, I have my Roland Juno 106. The Juno is MIDI connected to the Motu Fastlane MIDI to USB converter. Finally, to the left, I've got the Solina String Ensemble and a Casio CZ101. The Solina is a vintage keyboard that makes string sounds, but this one is special because it was owned by the Eagles and they actually used it on tour and in one of their music videos. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, and if you have any questions about any of the gear here, leave it in the comments below. All right, let's talk about some of the non-music gear that's holding all this together. I'm gonna go over the computer monitors, USB hubs, laptop docks, and lots more. I've even got a trick for sequencing the power of different devices. My computer is a 2018 MacBook Pro 13-inch. This is a 2.7 gigahertz i7 with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte hard drive. It's docked on a Henge dock. I love the Henge dock simply because there's no fiddling around with cables when I connect the laptop. The Henge dock is connected to a USB hub, the Cal Digit TS3. It allows me to connect multiple displays, USB, and it even charges the MacBook. Link in the description. Connected to the USB-C hub is the Anker AH241 USB hub for all my other USB gear. It's lasted me a long time and I highly recommend it. Also connected are two displays. The one that's on my desk is an LG 29-inch ultra-wide display. Sitting on top of my monitor, I have the BenQ Screen Bar Plus, which adds some light to the desk. It really helps my eyes at night. It's very sleek, you don't even know it's there, and it runs off a USB. You can set the light temperature, more yellow or more white, with this dial. It's also got an ambient light sensor that automatically sets it. It's a little expensive at $130 for a desk light, but BenQ also makes a $99 version without this dial. Still a bit expensive, but if price is not an issue for you, I'd recommend it. So even though this is my main monitor, having a second monitor has made an even bigger difference. Above my desk is something you've seen in a lot of my previous videos. It's the Frame by Samsung. It's a 65-inch TV/art display, and most of the time this just displays artwork behind me when I'm talking to the camera like this. But now, finally, I get to use it as a second monitor. Boom! When I don't need it, I can just select a piece of artwork or a beautiful photograph, and I've got instant vibes. Oh, it's also a TV, but it hardly ever gets used as a TV. I've sequenced the turning on and off of all my gear to avoid speaker pops. You see, if your speakers are on and then you turn on your interface, you may get a loud pop sound that's not only hard on your ears, but could also damage your speakers. To prevent this, I've used a couple GoSund Wi-Fi outlets. They're super cheap, $25 for 4. They're Alexa compatible, so I've programmed Alexa to start up 2 different GoSun outlets in sequence. All I have to say is start studio, and the audio interface and all the other components start up. Then Alexa waits another 10 seconds before powering up the speakers and a few other components. When I say stop studio, the reverse happens. The speakers turn off first, and then the rest of the gear. Magic. All right, to help create a pleasant and inspiring atmosphere in my studio, I've added some colored lighting. The desk is framed with Philips Hue light strips, as well as the Hue Bloom behind the headphones. In the ceiling, I've also got Hue lights. I named my color scenes by city, so Barcelona is my favorite, that's the one you're looking at now, but Tokyo is pretty cool too, and Dubai. When I film at night, I can actually turn the bulbs to a white daylight hue so that I get consistent color in these videos. This redesign was not only done to help with my music creation workflow, but to help make better videos. The desk provides much more space to test and film gear, and the wood color makes for a better background compared to my previous black desk. It's gonna be easier for you all to see the gear that I'm filming. That's it. That's my new studio tour 2020. Of course, things are gonna evolve and you can be around to watch it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Keep making the music you love, and I'll see you guys later. I gotta go make some music.